Hello. Hi, it's Khoa. I am making this video 2 days before you guys are seeing it. And so I have guests over right now. Anyway, so they'll be listening in the background. They are my audience today. I am here to present to you sepsis and septic shock and the pathophysiology to the best of my ability. My credentials are on my Kaiser webpage. Okay, let's talk about sepsis. So sepsis is how your body reacts when it's been invaded by a pathogen. So we can think of a pathogen as like, bacteria, a virus, or a fungus. Imagine that, a bacteria is like your ex that came back to your beautiful home that you bought with your nice healthcare money. And so when this bacteria enters your body, or when your ex comes back into your fancy house with its Ring doorbell system, it's gonna alert the entire immune system, the police, your friends, your family. Okay, so that's step one. Step one, body gets invaded by a pathogen and body releases signals into the bloodstream to alert the immune system that it's being invaded. So that leads us to step two. Step two is the white blood cells responding to the signals that the immune system is putting out. Now, these white blood cells, they also have their own weapons. These white blood cells are like your homies with their weapons. Hopefully not anything serious. So the white blood cells' weapons are like inflammatory mediators and cytokines. These are like interleukins, tumor necrosis factor, interferons, histamine, all that jazz. They're going to release that. And what ends up happening is step three. Step three is your body's response to all of these signals, these weapons. It's going to cause vasodilation, capillary leak, and blood clotting. Mira, look at me, I'm smart. So when you have vasodilation and capillary leak, your blood pressure drops. You get blood clotting because if you think about it, these white blood cells, the weapons that they're using, they release these like lytic enzymes that are going to break down the blood vessels. And that's why you get these capillary leaks. But, your blood vessels are now damaged and you get blood clotting because your blood is simultaneously trying to clot the little breaks in the blood vessels. If we go down deep into it, that's how you get like disseminated intravascular coagulation, but I think that's out of this video. But at the end of the day, when you get all of this dilation, your blood pressure drops, and when your blood pressure drops, that means your organs are not getting perfused. And with poor perfusion, you are going to get a buildup of lactic acid, lactate. And as lactate rises, it is a toxic metabolite, it's going to give you a metabolic acidosis. That's why we get scared when we see a really high lactate. It means that game over is around the corner and we need to fix it very quickly. At this point, I have lost the plot of the X, and so that is gonna be dropped. I don't know how to. So all of that leads us to septic shock. You probably hear this a lot. So septic shock is essentially you are so far deep into sepsis that despite giving the fluids to raise the blood pressure to improve the perfusion, your blood pressure is still low. So this never-ending cycle of being poorly perfused, vasodilation, capillary leak, blood clotting, elevated toxins in the bloodstream is going to keep going and going. The body is just going down the drain. That's why we then start vasopressors, and that's why the government times us on it. So that is essentially the abbreviated pathophysiology of sepsis going into septic shock. It was a lot of information. Let's go ahead and recap. So step one, we have the pathogen invading our bodies, and our bodies send out distress signals to the immune system telling it that help, it's in danger. Step two, the white blood cells come to the rescue. They're going to come and attack those pathogens with those inflammatory mediators, releasing like cytokines and other like lytic proteins into the bloodstream. And all of those weapons cause step three, which is vasodilation, capillary leak, and blood clotting. All three of these factors then lead to step four, which is poor perfusion to the rest of the body. Our organs are not getting enough blood flow, not enough oxygen, which then leads to step five, which is an increase in lactic acid. Increase in lactic acid causes a metabolic acidosis. The pH of the blood is now too low, causing even further organ failure or organ dysfunction rather. And all of that leads to step 6, which is essentially septic shock. The pH is too low, the body is not responding appropriately. We've given our 30 cc's per kilogram with some fluid exceptions, and the body is still not responding. And then as this whole process keeps going and going and going, the body is just going down the drain. We end up with organ failure and essentially death. And that is it. Please direct all questions to the presenter of this PowerPoint.